Всем привет! На связи онлайн-школа Meetup. Уверены, вы хотя бы раз думали об учебе в другой стране. Но ведь и в России сегодня много студентов-иностранцев. Мы поговорили с ними и узнали ответы на самые волнующие вопросы. Устраивайтесь поудобнее и смотрите это видео, чтобы понять, как иностранцы учат русский язык, поступают в топовые университеты и находят русских друзей. Расскажи, как тебя зовут, сколько тебе лет и из какой ты страны?
My name is Jorge. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Colombia.
My name is Kwon Hee, and I'm from South Korea. And I am 27 years old.
Hi, my name is Italo Castañeda. I am from Honduras. It's a small country near Mexico in Central America. And I am 21 years old.
My name is Itodo Michael. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Nigeria. It's an African country.
На кого ты учишься? Нравится ли тебе твоя специальность?
I'm studying software engineering at ITMO. I like solving programming problems since I was in the school. So using all the tools that I have with programming and trying to solve like a challenge or something, I really like it. I find it very interesting.
My major is film and video. I study about theory, philosophy, about cinema, etc., etc.
I study in Lidman University. I study innovations. And I really like that career because it mixes a lot of technology and also like the university itself. It's about technology mostly. So I really enjoy being in all of that sphere.
At the university, I will be studying design and technology of electronic means. I do like my future education because it will help a lot in my country.
С каким уровнем русского языка ты приехал?
I studied in the preparatory faculty before coming to Russia. So I already knew some stuff, some basic communication. But the practice wasn't enough, so when I came here it was still hard to communicate with the people, but maybe at least enough to buy things at the supermarket or communicate with some teachers.
I do study in Russian. We have a choice. There are many courses in English, but still the main subjects are mostly in Russian, so I have to take Russian courses, and yeah, it is hard. It is very hard. Yeah.
Yes, it's really difficult because I think my Russian level is not as high. Like for university, I can live in Russia, like go to the store and everything without problems. But for an academic level, I think I'm not quite there. And also like when Russian natives, they speak in Russian too fast, I just get lost. But yes, I try to make like the best out of it and try to give my best to study.
My level of Russian right now is not that okay. I don't hear Russian when they speak very fast. I don't understand them, but with time I get to understand them very well.
Как ты учишь русский язык здесь? Может быть, у тебя есть какие-нибудь лайфхаки для иностранцев?
Here I also have Russian classes at the university. I think I will have them until I graduate. Maybe something that has helped me a lot while I'm studying here in Russia is making part in speaking clubs. There are a lot in the city, in some libraries, in many universities. So that's, I think, my main hobby here in the city. There I can get to know a lot of people from Russia who is interested in different cultures.
I am not sure because I myself am not good at Russian that much. I cannot say that I'm good at Russian, but for now I think I hear more, so I guess talk in Russian as much as possible. This is the only thing that I can say. Yeah.
I learned Russian in the preparatory courses that the university offers, like usually all universities offers them. and like maybe a life hack. It will be like you can watch movies in Russian. It could be a little strange at the beginning, but it's like a good way to learn a new language.
I learn Russian. I have a lot of Russian friends. I do speak with them, communicate with them in Russian, and I have a nice teacher that teach me a very fluent, how to speak fluent in Russian. The most thing for a foreign student to do to learn learn Russian language faster is to watch YouTube channels. YouTube channels, Instagram, and other social medias.
Как ты выбрал тот самый университет?
I chose it more because before coming to Russia, I knew that the university was very famous because of its highest rank in programming, and ITMO is also one of the founders that made the page of programming contest Code Forces. It is very well known worldwide, and I wanted to give it a try to a university, and yeah, I found out that it's very good at programming.
I wanted to film movie, so I was looking for some schools, and I found only 2 schools are involved in cinema sphere in St. Petersburg. There was one is KIT, the other one is the Smolny. So yeah, I chose like that.
I saw many posts on Instagram, and then I started to watch information on YouTube. And the good thing about my university is that they have like a really good international department. So they are always answer fast enough, and you have a great communication with them before coming to Russia and after then. Also, it's like really easy to go to speak like to the people in charge, you know. So it's really helpful.
When I was applying to study in Russian, I searched the most and the best university that I'll be able to study in Russian, and I got to see that ITMO is the best university. Is one of the best university in Russian that study science and technology.
Чем русская система образования отличается от той, которая есть в твоей стране? Почему ты выбрал учиться здесь?
I would say that the system of the university is very different. I had the opportunity to start the university in Colombia, and I am able to compare it to a university here in Russia, and I can say that here we have to be like more autonomous students. We have to learn a lot of things by ourselves, but also we have to defend like every laboratory work that we do. So they are also more exigent, I would say, in that part. I wanted to study here because of the level of the university. I knew that ITMO was a very good university at programming. So another of the reasons why I wanted to study here was because I didn't feel so safe living in Colombia, and I knew that here the safety in Russian is at least better than in Colombia.
Okay, the main difference is, I guess, session, because we have a midterm and the final, and that's it. But we have midterm and final and session. To be honest, it is not about Russia. I think it is about St. Petersburg. I love the city. It is a beautiful place, and it's cheap. I mean, compared to, I'm from Seoul, so if I compare, it's cheap. That's why, yeah, I like it, and it's a European place.
I didn't want to study in my country at all, so I was looking for options, and Russia was like a great option back in the time, and it still is, because the country itself is really amazing for me. the educational system. For example, when grading, in Russia we use like a 5 points, measuring system, but in my country it's like 100. And a thing that I like more in Russia is that in my country, I don't know why, but most of the universities, they used to give like thousands of homework, and they blast you off with many words. And I think that at the end of the day, it causes like less knowledge from a student, because you just focus on doing many things in less time and not actually in trying to study, in trying to learn about it.
That different from my country, because I think they use the same system of teaching. I decided to study in Russian because Russian is the best country I have ever seen, I have ever researched about.
Как твои близкие и друзья отреагировали на то, что ты едешь учиться в Россию?
At the beginning, my mother didn't want to let me come here because she said that it was very far, that maybe, I don't know, she said that it was a very far country, that we wouldn't be able to see at each other in a long time. But with the time, she understood that I just wanted to get a better education and everything, so she accepted. And my father, I think he always was comprehensive about that, and he didn't have any problem. My friends said that they will miss me a lot, but even now we are still communicating. We sometimes make video calls, we play together video games on the internet, so it's still fun.
They did a lot of joke about Russia, because Russia has certain frame and certain image, which is sometimes not that positive in the global sense.
They were really amazed because it was like really far from home. And they usually started joking like, you're going to freeze when you arrive to Russia. And so, but it was like quite shocking in the way that it was like too far away, because in my country, if you go out, usually you go to the United States, that is not that far from us. So then crossing the Atlantic, it was like a big thing.
When I was coming to Russia, my friends, my family, they said to me that Russian is very far from Africa. It's very, very far from Africa. So there was like, I'm gonna be freeze, the place is very cool, and I will not be able to come back as fast as I want. But I told them that everything is cool. All I have to do is just to maintain and keep calm till I got what I'm chasing.
Какие стереотипы о России у тебя были до поездки сюда? Может быть, некоторые из них подтвердились?
Okay, so before coming to Russia, people used to tell that a common Russian guy is the typical strong and who is mean to everyone, and if I make maybe a mistake talking to him, he might be like yell at me, and maybe not be that much of a comprehensive person. And well, as I came here thinking of that, I can say that it's not like that. Maybe there are some people that doesn't understand that we are foreigners, we cannot speak the language very well, but also there are a lot of people that will get interested about you, about your culture, and it doesn't matter how, they want to understand you and want to help you also.
Bears, KKK, and vodka. Russians are aggressive, they don't smile, many things. But actually, the first year that I came here, it seemed like they do not have a smile on their face, yeah, but actually if I got to know them, they're very lovely people. I love them, yeah.
Well, there are two main stereotypes. The first one is that every Russians, they have bears as pets, and that's not the case. And also that Russian people, it's really cold, they don't like to laugh, they are like always serious. And also that's not true, because like once you get to know like Russians well, they are like really amazing people.
I learned that Russians, they are the best hackers in the world. Yeah, they are the best hackers in the world. And they have the most beautiful people in the world. Trust me, they are very, very beautiful.
Сложно ли было собрать нужные документы? Как ты справился с бюрократией?
I come to Russia because I also have a scholarship. I won a scholarship from the government of the Russian Federation. So it was kind of hard at the beginning because I had to translate every document I had to Russian. My passport, my medical exams that I had to take, grades from the previous university, the school, and everything. So it's expensive, I would say, at the beginning. But everything is easy to deliver because they have like a platform for that, Study in Russia, that I think it's very intuitive. So it's just take the time to read.
Get to necessary paper wasn't that hard because everything is done in Korea and I didn't have to deal with many things. But it was quite tough in here because the system was quite chaotic. I mean, it's not every university. It was just, I remember administrator was one old lady who seemed doesn't have any knowledge about computer. And she was the only one who deal with all the paper documents and stuff. And she was doing like, it took like 100 years to deal with one person, and there were like lots of people waiting for this one lady, and that was hard. Yeah.
Getting the papers in my country before coming here, it was quite easy, not that much. But yes, once in Russia, it's really difficult to get some kind of papers. It's not the case in my university because they usually do it fast, but sometimes I have to make medical certificates and things like that for university, and that could be like a lot of trouble going to government offices to get those papers. I think it's like crazy sometimes.
It was not difficult for me in my country because the works were done by my government. Educational bodies in my country that help students that want to go to abroad to study, and they did all the paperwork for me. But when I came to Russia, it was a bit tough because I have to do it myself.
Какие экзамены или конкурсы тебе пришлось сдавать для поступления в российский университет?
If someone is from Colombia, the competitions that he has to take is at first a filter of all the people in Colombia that want to get the scholarship, and then the people that get selected have to pass another competition here in Russia, competing against students of all over the world.
I had to take university exams that the university gave me. They weren't like hard, but not that much. The exams in my university are special for international students, so we don't get like the same exams that the Russians get. Obviously, because of the language, it would be like there's no point in making like a Russian exam for Russians who have lived here like 18 years, and for someone that has learned the language for 6 months.
My university organized an exam for us that you have to pass before coming to Russia. And I did very well. That is why I came to Russia.
Расскажи о своих русских друзьях. Они особенные или похожи на тех, которые были у тебя в родной стране? Было ли сложно завести новых друзей?
At the beginning, it was hard to make new friends because I only knew the people at the university, and as I didn't know very well the language, I had problems communicating with them. But later, as I started participating in speaking clubs, I get to know a lot of people that, in some way or another, they try to speak with me, and that way I get to know many Russian people that are so interesting. Like they want to teach me about their culture, their hobbies, and I really like them.
No, they are not alike. Because yes, they are like a little bit reserved, but I also know that there's like a language barrier sometimes, and that can make some things difficult, but overall they are nice people. When I just came here, of course, because as I told you, I didn't speak Russian at all, so I cannot go up to someone and start speaking with them because I couldn't, like for real, I couldn't. But then with time it was like getting easier.
My friends here, they are cool, they are nice, and they are lovely, caring people. I have a roommate. He always, when he goes out and he's coming back, he has to buy me things. He cares about me a lot. He asks me how is my exam going, if I passed or I did not pass, how do I learn, how everything is going about my studies. So it's very, very nice to me.
Как у тебя дела с личными финансами? Дорого ли жить в России? Где ты берешь деньги на студенческую жизнь?
Before coming here, I speak with some friends that I knew that were already here, and they told me more or less how much they were spending in their everyday life here. And I'd make a comparison, like how is it living here and in other countries, in other cities of the world. And it was pretty much the same living here as living in Colombia in terms of financial stuff. So it's not very different for me, and usually I'm comfortable living with the money I get from working in programming projects every now and then, and some money that my parents provide me also.
I don't think that it is hard. I think it's good. It's good to live here. Yeah, it's not that expensive.
Well, it's almost the same as living in my country. There are like some things more expensive here, but then there are some things that are cheaper here than in my country. And my parents, they send me money for the month. It's enough, I guess, because it's very similar to what I would spend in my country.
It's not expensive to live in Russia. Everything here is okay. The life here is okay. It's not expensive.
У тебя есть какие-нибудь смешные истории, случившиеся с тобой в России? Попадал ли ты в неловкие ситуации?
I have a very good anecdote here, and is that I'm part of a theater, the theater NOS here in Russia. So I had the opportunity to act with them in the Maslenitsa this year. We were doing a theater play there in the Elangin Park. So it was really awesome to see all the Russian people dancing, laughing, playing with us. And also at the end of the ceremony, they burn a doll, the Maslenitsa. And looking at that, bringing all the little Maslenitsas that the children had, and bringing to the big fire, it was really awesome. I just had a very great time.
One time, I appeared in the classroom, and I was the only Asian figure in the class, and the professor started to say, "Oh, my Kitai drug." Yeah, so it's like, Yeah, I'm not. I'm Korean.
I have a really awkward situation that happened. I was still, I think I finished my year of Russian, but I was afraid of speaking Russian, so I could understand, but I cannot speak back because I was like just afraid of doing it. So this time I was in the supermarket, and this really old lady, like 70 years old lady, she told me that she needed help finding the right number for the vegetables when you measure them in the like machines for the etiquette. So it was like really awkward. I don't know what she thought, because she asked me and I understand, but I just went up to her, said nothing, grabbed her things, go to the machine and came back without saying a word, just going like a zombie, doing like a robot, going up to her and then back and saying nothing, and I just left. So maybe for her it was like really weird, I guess.
That was the second day I came to Russia. I was asked to come to the immigration office. So when I get there, one of my friends helped me to book a taxi. So when I get there, I did everything that I wanted to do. It's time to go back home. I was like, when I get to the streets, I was like, which way did I come? Which way did I get here? How did I get here? I was confused. I have no SIM card, and I don't know how to speak Russian. I don't understand Russian. So I was like confused. Where will I start from? I have nobody, no SIM card, no phone. I'm with phone, but I can't make call. So I have to go back to the office because the staff there, they do understand English. So I have to go back to the office, and they help me to order a taxi.
Путешествовал ли ты по городам России? Куда хочешь съездить в будущем?
After all, to Moscow already 3 times, and also to 2 little towns. One of them is Pushkin at the south of St. Petersburg, and another one is Kirishi, like 3 hours in electrichka from here. I find anyway Peter the most awesome city. I just think the culture and everything, it's really awesome here.
Yes, I've been in other Russian cities. I've been to Veliki Novgorod, to Moscow, and to Murmansk. In Murmansk, I went to see the Northern Lights. It was amazing, like wonderful. There are no words to describe.
Yeah, I've been to Moscow, but I didn't stay long in Moscow. Moscow is a cool country, because it's a cool city, but not compared to St. Petersburg.
Скучаешь ли ты по дому? Почему ты скучаешь больше всего?
I'm not really homesick because I think I've made a really good family here with Russian people. But something that I miss a lot, I think I would say the food. As here in Russia, we don't have as much vegetables and fruits as in Latin America.
I don't really miss home like that much to say that I'm homesick, but yeah, I really miss the weather. First of all, because I do not like winter at all, It's too hard for me, and I really miss the food because I don't quite like Russian food.
Yes, I miss a lot. In my country, my friends, we gather together, gist, mix jokes, but here there's nothing like that because everybody here, they focus in their future.
У тебя есть любимое слово на русском языке?
There's one word that I like. It's chiripaja, because I think it's very funny how it sounds in Spanish, my native language.
Господи. I can say it in many situations. Yeah. And I think I'm quite good at say Господи.
Oh, yes. It's kind of complicated. Why? I'll explain it. The word is высококвалифицированный. Because when I was learning Russian, the teacher just gave us this random word that it was like too long. And I said like, no, I cannot say it. But when I learned it, I said like, oh, I learned this really difficult word.
My favorite Russian word is почему, because my roommates always said that word. He always used that word. Почему.
Дай один главный совет абитуриентам-иностранцам.
An advice that I would say to the people trying to come here and study here for the first time would be to prepare. Like they have to at least know some of the topics that they are going to study the first year of the career, because I've seen that many times people get to university knowing anything, so knowing nothing. So it's sometimes really hard for them, and they have to come back because they don't have knowledge enough.
I will advise them to go for it. Like maybe at the beginning it could be difficult because you start thinking like there are 1,000 things going through our minds when deciding where to study and so. But at the end of all, it will be worth it. So just go for it. Don't be afraid.
Those of you thinking of coming to Russia to study, I think is the best decision you have made in your life. Russia is the most peaceful and nice country. So I advise you to come to Russia and study to get a good grade.
Учеба в другой стране — это увлекательное приключение, поэтому мы познакомили вас со студентами из-за рубежа. Ставьте лайк и подписывайтесь на Meetup, чтобы видеть больше подобных роликов. Пусть необычный опыт наших иностранных друзей вдохновит вас на то, чтобы мыслить шире.